Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to finally do the Hunter x Hunter Dark Continent discussion video. That is right. That is right. That is right. Hunter x Hunter Dark Continental discussion video. Ohio, yeah, that's right, people. That's right. Now, before I get started, right? For those of you people who only follow the anime and are not caught up to date with the manga, leave. Get out right now. Leave. Because this video will contain spoilers about future arcs to come in the Hunter x Hunter series. So, one last time, okay? If you are an anime watcher only of the Hunter x Hunter series, whether it's 1999 or 2011, or if you are not up to date with the Hunter x Hunter manga, leave. This video will contain spoilers about arcs that are to come. So, that being said, I'm going to assume that the people right now watching this video are up to date with the manga and know full well what's going on right now. And that full well right now is two words. Beyond Netero. Yeah, man. When this guy came out, man, people were pumped. I was pumped. Because we had an entire country, right? We had the country of Kaiken. They were like, yo, fuck the rest of the world. We're gonna go to this dark continent. And we all know full well that according to the story, when people go and explore the dark continent, a calamity always returns in full to the actual populace of the human world. Now, there is a video done by McWhirlpool Inc., and he explains how he believes that the first calamity, well, no, not the first calamity, the calamity of the Chimera Ants was caused by Gin. Because he believes, because in this video, and I'll link it down in the description below, alright? In this video, he talks about how Gin, because he was so hell-bent on going to the Dark Continent, because it is his dream, he may have tried to gone there at one point in time. And that point in time coincided with the arrival of the Chimera Ant Queen. And remember, and here's my thought. My thought is it's possible too, because I remember the Chimera Ant Queen, when she came to the human world, she was wounded, she was injured, she was near death, and that could be caused by Gin, because Gin, according to Isaac Netero, Gin is one of the top Nen users in all of the human world. One of the top 3, I think, or top 5 or top 3. So he's like OP Nen wise. So him beating the Chimera Ant Queen is a possibility. And then she retreated to the human world, and then she recuperated, and then by feeding on humans and other creatures, she created the Chimera Ants. That's my own speculation. But check out his video down below, and then, because Mick Whirlpool, he is very Hunter x Hunter based. So if you are a fan of Hunter x Hunter, I suggest, I highly recommend that you check out Mick Whirlpool link down below. Now, what I will say is that, hold on, let me see here, because my computer right now is, the fan's going really loud, and gotta make sure shit's not heating up, because, my Toshiba sometimes, it fucking, like, the moment it heats up, like, freeze, shut down. It's like, fuck, seriously, alright, but whatever, right? The thing here, right, is that before I'm gonna talk about, like, the Chimera Ant arc, the Dark Continent, I'm gonna talk about stuff that occurred at the end of the latest chapters of Hunter x Hunter, like before he went on hiatus. And that was when we had the election had ended, and Cheeto is now the president. Of course, we all know that Gin and Pariston have now left the Zodiac 12, and now it is the Zodiac 10 in the sense. And we saw, after it was revealed that the country of Kaiken and their leader, I forgot his name exactly, but after it was revealed that they were going to go to the Dark Continent, and try and live their lives out in there, and try and build a civilization there for themselves, the country of Kaiken, alright? And the headline dude is beyond Netero. Like, this guy's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I will take you there. Like, fuck it, man. I want to yell so bad, but I can't because it's like 8 o'clock at night. And, but you guys get it, right? You guys get it, right? Like, this guy's a beast. But the thing here that's very important is that Beyond Netero has a squad. He has a squad of dudes, and in the squad of dudes is Pariston. Now that's crazy shit. That's crazy ass shit. Not only that, but Gin, I'm going through something that Gin is also going to go to the Dark Continent, but via his own means, his own methods, because that I believe is the type of person that Gin is. As far as I can tell, that's the way he seems to be. But what I will say is that now we may not get a chance to have Beyond Netero and his squad get to the Dark Continent. And the reason why is because the other 5 countries of the human world have, I would say, not ordered, but they have highly recommended the Zodiac 12 to take out Beyond Netero. In a sense, the ruling countries of that world put a hit on Beyond Netero because they understand that this was illegal since 200 years ago to enter the Dark Continent, because once someone does, a calamity occurs in the real world, in the human world, in the major populace. So that's why there's going to be a hit. And we may see some crazy ass shit between the Zodiac 12, or in this sense, the Zodiac 10, versus Beyond Netero and his boys. And see, that's crazy ass shit. Because, I mean, hey, they're the Zodiac. They're the Zodiac, all right? They're top net users in the entire world. So they're not gonna be taken out that easy. No fucking way. No way. I mean, I don't care if he's Beyond Netero, like triple Beyond Netero, to go even further beyond Netero, they're the Zodiac. They're not gonna get taken out that easy. No fucking way. No way. No way. No way. No way. No way. No. But that being said, the probability of someone going to the Dark Continent again, if you follow Megropo's theory about Gin going there the first time in the actual series in of itself, then it's probably likely. In fact, it's probably going to happen definitely, because the way I see it is that Gon is very likely to follow Gin in his footsteps, and if Gin's going to enter the Dark Continent, then Ash 2 will go at some point in time after he's done training with Kaito, and maybe Killua, because I don't see Killua training with his Nen honage. I see him taking his sister around the world to explore the real human world. But actually training his Nen, I'm not too sure if that's gonna be the case. But hey, I'm pretty sure he is. In order to stay sharp, in order to stay at least affluent with his skills. Now I'm going to talk about the Dark Continent itself and my expectations, my thoughts on the Dark Continent, and what we know so far about the Dark Continent. Because when it comes to the Dark Continent, I'm expecting a lot of shit. Like, a lot of crazy shit. In a way, I kind of feel that the Dark Continent would reminisce Demon World in Yu Hakusho. Like, that's the way I feel. That's what I personally feel. Because Togashi Yoshihiro, he did write Yu Hakusho before doing Hunter x Hunter. So I can see the whole, like, for example, right? The World Tree in Hunter x Hunter, like the sprout that we saw, that Gon and Gin climbed, that was an actual seedling tree. The real tree, its roots were actually embedded in like mountain ranges, and it actually used magma from volcanoes to actually grow in beyond the atmosphere of the actual planet. And that's very reminiscent of Demon World Geninji trees, which are fucking massive, man. We're talking like 40,000 fucking meters. They're huge. Like, and we actually see it in the Yu Yu Hakusho series. A full-grown Geninji tree. They're massive. They're massive. So the World Tree in Hunter x Hunter can correlate to the Geninji tree in Yu Hakusho. So like so from that notion alone, I can expect a lot of similarities between Demon World and the Dark Continent. So that's number one, alright? Number two is that according to the story itself, there are other types of humans, quote unquote, other types of humans that exist in the Dark Continent. Now, this is very important because I remember during the Hunter exam that Gon and Killua and like that the group took when they got their Hunter licenses, with the exception of Kurapika. With Killua. Before they reached the Part 2 section, after they finished running through that really long and winding tunnel, they reached this area of open forest and like a fog open forest, okay? And in this area, like before they leave, they get confronted by this guy who's posing as an examiner, as a proctor, and Hisoka kills him. And this guy transforms, his body transforms into what is called a man-faced ape, I believe so. Well, not his body transformed, but this faker was holding a man-faced ape. Now, this man-faced ape could be a type of other human that originated from the Dark Continent, which will lead to my Part 3 when I get to it. But the fact here is that could be a quote-unquote other type of human being. And the thing here is that we don't know a lot about these quote-unquote other humans. But what we do know, like for example, right? It could be a possibility that the Kurta clan originated from the Dark Continent, because when you think about it, the Kurta clan, they are very unique in their ocular setting, with their red eyes. Whenever they agitated, their eyes turn red, and that could sound far-fetched, but the Kurta clan's origin is unknown, and that origin could have came from the Dark Continent. But like how their eyes turn red, and all of a sudden their nen, well, at least in the case of Kurapika, their nen go from another category to a specialist, and that's a very drastic change, even amongst nen users as of right now. That is an extraordinarily drastic change. To all of a sudden your eyes turn red, you go to a specialist. That's crazy ass shit. So that is a possibility, but it is kind of far fetched. But we'll see where that goes. But what I will say is that the possibility of having other types of human beings exist in this quote-unquote Dark Continent, it does allow room of thought for other abilities to exist as well, like other forms of nen or other shit aside from nen. Because remember, these human beings have to be able to fight on par with creatures that exist in the Dark Continent. Creatures like the Chimera Ant Queen, and even stronger, way stronger. Oh hell yeah! Oh definitely! Oh yeah! So in order for them to maintain their civilizations, if they have any, they need to have a lot of well-honed nen skills or other types of skills to survive. So that was Part 2, and now Part 3 is going to consist of the mythical beast stuff. Now, if you guys don't know, according to the story itself, mythical beast, even the ones in Human World, originated from the Dark Continent. Now, right there is actually a very key thing, because this means that creatures like the Kuriko, and the Kuriko were the creatures that guided Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio to the Hunter exam site. Things like those two giant monsters that Gin was riding on when we first see him in real time. Things like the Chimera Ant, they all originate from the Dark Continent. Now, this is very important in a lot of aspects, alright? Number one is that the Dark Continent has to house a lot of these creatures, which means that it has to be a very fucking big place. A very big place. If you can house the origin of all the creatures that right now reside in the human world. Now, granted, all right, and when I say human world, I mean like the world that's known to most people. But the thing here is that maybe not all of them originated from the Dark Continent, but by the logic of the story thus far, we have to assume, or it's safe to assume, that a vast majority, if not all, of the mythical beasts that reside in the world known came from the Dark Continent. And again, it does give you an idea about the size and the scale of this Dark Continent. How it has to fit so many different types of creatures and so many unique creatures that will vie and struggle for power and dominance, because that's the way it is. Which again, it contributes to how survival of the fittest may play in the Dark Continent, and how strong one has to be in order to survive, or to be or in order to be at the top of the food chain. So I mean, like, that's the way it is. And my thing here is that it's a very unique concept, because the Dark Continent, like the way it seems now, the Dark Continent may be the origin for life in the known world. Now, I know that's a stretch, but think about it. If you follow the story, and again, like, you can look on the Wikia, and the Wikia, I'm pretty sure, will tell you that the Dark Continent is the origin for the mythical beast. Well, the thing here is that that's a lot of creatures, and we know from the actual experience of the Hunter x Hunter series that some creatures mimic and even portray human attributes. According to the actual story itself, there are humans that reside in the Dark Continent. So who's not to say that the humans that reside there in the Dark Continent later on moved away from that continent to other worlds, and then the other worlds became the known worlds that a majority of the people reside in today. Now, again, that is a stretch, but hey, it is a possibility, considering the fact that this Dark Continent seems to be like the origin of like most of the shit that's going on right now. And it's gonna be really unique. It's gonna be quite the experience to see Gon. Well, at first, we're probably gonna see beyond Netero and his group, or maybe even Gin, and seeing them explore and, you know, venture through the Dark Continent, what they see there, what they experience in there. We may see different types of weather. We may see different types of climate changes, you know, all this kind of stuff. We may see, you know, different landscapes. Like, again, the fact that the World Tree exists, yeah, we're pretty sure to see a lot of unique shit. And kind of like the way, like, I expect the Dark Continent to be very reminiscent of like the One Piece New World, the Toriko Gourmet world, and worlds that are so unique and so different from our own world when it comes to their overall foundations. And that's what I expect when it comes to the Dark Continent. I'm expecting some crazy ass shit. And again, all this right now is all speculation, all thought, all theory, because we know we know bits and pieces about the Dark Continent, but we don't know enough to make a fair assessment, a fair judgment. I'm pretty sure once the Hunter x Hunter series continues with its material manga, I'm pretty sure that they will give us more information about the Dark Continent. And from there, I'll probably make a Dark Continent like discussion part 2, because again, we're not there yet. But once we're there, yeah, I'm gonna probably go ham with another discussion video. And I will say one last thing before I go. All right, the people of this country who are willing to sacrifice their lives or risk their lives to try and go to the Dark Continent and venture and make a new home for themselves. The people of this country called, again, Kaiken. Yeah. It's not gonna turn out too well. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. It's not gonna turn out too well. It can't. No way, Jose. People are dying by the millions, at least. So I'm done. King Lightning. Seeing Beyond Netero, if in fact Beyond Netero and his group get to the Dark Continent, and if they're not cut off by the Zodiac Tenant and Cheetle, seeing his group plus Pariston try and actually defend millions of people is going to be quite the experience. So, but I'm done. King Lightning. Be sure to, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe as always. And I'm signing out. Give me your thoughts on the Dark Continent, what you're expecting, what you're hoping for, what you think is going to happen based on what we know on today's information about the series and up to date. And I'm out. Peace. Have a nice day.